John DeLacio here. I mentioned in part one that I got the bug, and I had to go to the hospital for it. When they did quadruple open heart surgery on me, my lung collapsed, and it caused some permanent heart lung damage. And then when we had the virus, I had it very bad. So between pre-existing problems and the virus in my heart and lung, they watch me very carefully. I have to be careful, and I cannot take a flu shot. I don't take flu shots. I can't take them. They almost killed me. But I've had this lingering little bug, and I ended up in the hospital. It was a good thing I went. I didn't want to go, but I did, because I didn't want to argue with Jennifer, but she was right. And they did such a good job on me. I mean, they did. I saw the biggest monster in my life, the doctor. He walked into the room and he took up the whole doorway. I thought I was seeing things. I shook his hand. I told him I was afraid to shake his hand. I didn't want to hurt him. The guy it was huge. He has a ranch. He wrestles bulls. The guy is big. But they did a good job, is what I'm trying to say. They really did a good job. So they checked my heart, they checked this. I'm recording this on a Sunday afternoon, and now I have a follow-up appointment tomorrow with my primary doctor to see what to do next. But my voice is a little raspy, and I just did a 45-minute program, made it a little bit more raspier. But I want to talk about the breakthrough. Breakthroughs are knocking at the door. Right now, our house is in foreclosure. The situations that happened, we had to borrow a lot of money. We had to borrow it at high interest rate. We had to borrow it mostly for legal fees because of false allegations. Comes with the calling. But it was hard for us to keep going with that kind of pressure. And then every time there was a challenge, more faithful people left, and they left us with a lot of physical work. So between the physical work, the emotional pain, and the financial pressure it caused, it has not been easy. But we kept going and going and going. And in the going and going and going, we overcame a lot. You would be amazed on how far we came because of loving, faithful partners and faithful members. By the grace of God. But in the process, we got behind on our mortgage, and here's how that happened. We have a VA guaranteed loan, and we didn't know it at the time, but if you got 3 payments behind, you cannot make a partial payment. I heard President Trump talk about this about 6 months ago. He said he wanted to change that. That's not fair. You can't make a partial payment. He said these guys killed themselves to get a house, and now they have to kill themselves to keep the house. He said he wants to change that, but it ain't changed yet. So because we cannot make a partial payment, every month they keep adding more insurance fees, more foreclosure fees, more of their attorney's fees, and more late fee, and it gets up and up and up. So we don't know where it is right now because they wouldn't tell me when I talked to them last. Somebody blessed Jennifer and I with $12,000. We called the mortgage company to see if we could pay it, get it behind us, they wouldn't take a payment. We said, well, what's the balance? What do we owe? Oh, well, we have to talk to our attorney, and they're not available right now, so we don't know we know what the payments are, but then there's late payments, and then there's attorney fees, and then there's going to be court scores. I said, well, tell us, see if the $12,000 will cover it. They wouldn't tell us because they wanted to add another month. So now we have the $12,000. We had other bills, so we used it to, some of it to get an attorney, and some of it to pay other bills. So right now, where we are at the church of ministry, we came a long ways. We came a long house. But now, we don't know what they want. I don't have the answer. They're giving me the runaround. They don't want the money. They want my 3% interest rate. They want the house because it's worth twice what we paid for it. And they don't like the fact I have such a good interest rate. Well, interest rates are going to start coming down now. They are coming down, and they're going to come down more with the changes being made. So, I don't know. But I'm thinking right now, as we're recording this, today is Sunday, February the 1st, we need at least $15,000 plus legal fees and court costs. And that now, because now it's in the hands of the courts. We don't know. But here's what I do know. And I knew it before most people knew it. And if you are a taxpayer and you work in the United States of America and you file taxes, you are going to most likely get a good tax return. Probably one of the biggest ones you've gotten in years. Write that down. Tax return. Because of what Trump's been doing with the tariffs and so on and so forth, there's going to be some kind of a stimulus rebate, a tariff rebate. I don't know what you want to call it, but it should be decent for taxpayers. I don't know if they're going to do it individually or a unit. I don't know how they're going to do it. But what I'm trying to say is, if all goes well, there's going to be a rebate from the tariff refund, whatever they want to call it. There's also going to be a tax refund to most of you. I believe that as you make a pledge, that number will be bigger than you think. I'm going to ask you to make a pledge and let the government pay for it. I'm going to ask you to do that. I don't know how much time we have. As far as I know right now, they could come right now and tell us to get out. I don't know. So, first prayer request, that our attorneys get us the time we need, that we don't have to leave, and we get the money and get it off our back. Then I'm going to get so upset with them, I'm going to pay the house off. Why not? You've heard big name preachers say somebody paid off their house. If somebody could pay off their house, somebody could pay off my house. At least make a mortgage payment. Yeah, I believe that. I'm claiming it. I know preachers that have 6 houses. They're all paid for. They never did have a mortgage. They paid cash for it. If they can have a debt-free house, if they can have 6 debt-free houses, I can have 1 debt-free house. That when I die, I know Jennifer and the kids got a house. And a car paid for. Why not? What you make happen for this ministry, God will make happen for you. So I don't know how much time we have, but I am going to go by instinct. And this might change, and as it does, I'll bring it up to date. I'm asking all of you to make a pledge. Now, if you have the money, you don't have to make a pledge. You could just give it. But I'm asking you to consider one of several pledges. A pledge to be paid in 30 days from now. A pledge to be paid in 60 days from now. A pledge to be paid in 90 days from now. The pledge for 90 days, I'm going to ask that the amount you would pledge would be $3,000, $5,000 or more. The pledge in 60 days, I'm going to ask that you would make it to be $2,000 or more. And the pledge for 30 days, I'm going to ask you to make it for $1,000 or more. So this is February the 1st, March the 1st, April, May. Because we cannot wait till May to have the money. We don't know what we're facing. We have to keep our attorneys equipped to have the money they need to fight them and get us more time. I'm going to actually make a pledge and start paying on that pledge today. So if you made a pledge for $1,000 to be paid in 30 days, try to pay something weekly. And as you make your payment on it, excuse me, God will provide the rest. A pledge for $2,000 to be paid in 60 days, stop paying on it. And as you do, God will provide the rest. But I need some pledges to be $3,000, $5,000 or more. And I am believing more than enough will come in to take care of the house situation and have operating capital for us to increase our social media platforms and the equipment and what we need to do that. Pledges are good. Pledges are good. Do you remember telethons? People were making pledges to help a TV station or whatever. Those were the most exciting services. You don't see them no more because they want to teach you not to give to get. And in the process of teaching you not to give to get, they taught Christians, don't give anything unless you get a perfume, a cologne, a makeup, a facelift, a book. The thing that they were trying to stop, they did. Some of the greatest preaching and greatest testimonies I heard during telethons. Never rob somebody's testimony when they tell you that they made $1,000 pledge and this is what God did for them. Never, 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 never rob somebody's testimony. If the motive is right and the method is right and the money is right, and if they're glorifying God and it's encouraging people to put their faith and trust in God, don't rob their testimony just because you don't agree with it now. Unless you need money again. Don't do that. Never rob somebody's testimony. If you hear somebody say that they broke the spirit of poverty with $1,000 seed offering, don't rob their testimony. Because number one, it's true, the ones I've heard. Number two, I believe them. The ones that I heard. Number three, it increased faith, the ones that I heard. Oh yes, there's some idiots. There are some charlatans. There are some that are con artists. There are some, but you're not stupid. Weed it out. There are some charlatans, there are some con artists, there are some that abused it. But you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, and that's what happened in the body of Christ. Pledges work. I'm going to close, but build a little faith here. Go with me to Psalms 50. We've been in trouble, we've been in trouble, we've been in trouble, we've been in trouble, we've been in trouble. We always got out of trouble. Do you know why? Vows and pledges. Different kind of seed offering produce a different kind of a harvest. The tithe produces one type of harvest. The offering above the tithe produces another harvest. Helping the poor produces another type of harvest. And vows and pledges produce another. We're going to put this on the screen for you. Psalms 50, verse 15. Call on me in the day of trouble. Well, let me go back a little bit further. Verse 14. Psalms 50:14. Offer unto God thanksgiving. Pay thy vow unto the Most High. Call on me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. Let me slow down. How can you pay a vow if you never made a vow? Yes, Apostle Paul took pledges in the book of Corinthians. You watch my video, Biblical Economics Part 4 talks about that. Yes, I made lots of pledges. Watch my videos on Biblical Economics Part 4b and get in on the blessing. Let it build your faith. Verse 14. Offer unto God thanksgiving. Pay the vow unto the Most High. Call on me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver thee. I ask God, why do my friends and partners just wait till for the last minute to come through? But when we're really in trouble, you show up. This is what God said to me. The pledges that I made, right now, I have 4 pledges that I pay on. I paid on 3 this month. I need to pay on another one. And actually, 5 pledges. I need to pay on 2 more. But here I am. God reminded me that when I made a pledge, that is the seed offering that delivered me in the time of trouble. What about this witch and its friends? You don't think there's evil people on this earth? Then you must have been born this morning. Give it time. Psalm 76, verse 11. Bow and pay unto the Lord God. All that be around bring presents unto him that ought to be feared. Vow and pay. Verse. How can you pay a vow if you never make a vow? Verse 12. Very important. Verse 12. He shall cut off the spirit of princes. That's the spirit realm. He's terrible to the kings of the earth. That's men. God says that when you make vows and pledges and pay it on the best you can, he'll protect you from evil spirits and evil people. The false allegations that came against me in this ministry were from evil people influenced by evil spirits. But we're going to be with you. So, I don't want to go long. You heard a testimony about Kathy? Watch Biblical Economics Part 4 and Part 4b. Talks about this. Watch Part 1 of this video. I forgot what did we call Part 1?
Delacio Update.
What?
Delacio Update.
Delacio Update Part 1. This is Delacio Breakthrough Part 2. We need to get this out, so actually we're going to get this out before the other one. I got to get this out tonight. I want you to make a pledge. And if I'm right with my prophetic insight, I know this. Anybody who helps us save our house, everybody who supports this ministry, let me tell you, I know this is going to sound egotistical, and I don't know what that word means. This is one of the most powerful ministries I know. You don't know too many ministers my age that are still fighting to do this the way we are. We got to win the election. You cannot go back to woke. Look what's happening with the fraud and everything else. Because of what Trump and this administration is doing, America is headed to prosperity beyond our wildest imagination. Well, are you just selfish? You just care about blessed America? Don't you care about the immigrants? I want to teach the immigrants what they need to do so their country can be blessed like America. You heard it saying? Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for life. I want to teach the whole wide world the importance of why they should vote biblical. I want to teach them to consider the things there before they vote. I want the whole wide world to have a foundation like the United States of America, built on Judeo and Christian values, with the Constitution of the United States, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and to fight for the country like we did. Then their nation can be blessed also. I'm going to do it. I am absolutely going to do it. I want you to be a participator and have more fruit about your account. I want to tell the whole wide world Jezebel is real. And that's why so many ministers and ministries get destroyed. We're going to educate them. We're not just going to give them a fish. We're going to teach them to fish. We're not just going to give them ammunition. We're going to teach them how to use it. We're not just going to go around, blessed and highly favored. Oh, Jesus loves you. Oh, too blessed to be straight. Tiptoe to the door. No, we're going to tell them that this is a war book. We're going to teach them how to pray and how to fight and how to do spiritual warfare and how to overcome the evil spirits and the evil people. We're going to teach them that there's a devil on the loose who come to kill, steal, and destroy. But Christ came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. We're going to teach them the difference between loving the person of Jesus and following the principles of Jesus. We're going to teach them like Billy Graham on how to get to heaven. And we're going to teach them like Oral Roberts on how to have heaven on earth. We're going to give the full counsel of God. We're going to teach about warfare and the fivefold ministry and on and on and on. In other words, we're going to do like Apostle Paul. I said this prayer every time I came to your town. I am confident in this one thing, that I will come unto you with the fullness of the blessings of the gospel. Oh, you might not like that castor oil. You might not like to hear about the problem people. You might not like to hear about giving, but you need to. Because these principles helped us not only to survive, but thrive in the midst of the crap. We are overcomers. And I want you to be partakers of that grace. God's going to help you overcome. Their stimulus checks probably will be coming. There's going to be tax refunds that probably will be coming. And I believe that people who make a pledge to this ministry, you're going to get blessed more than you realized you was going to, from expected and unexpected sources. Make that pledge. Make that pledge. There's an email address on the screen. Email me. Say, Pastor John, I am making a pledge in the amount of $1,000 to be paid by such and such a date, or $2,000 to be paid by such and such a date, or $3,000 or more to be paid by such and such a date. I want to send a payment. There'll be a PayPal address on the screen. Use Vimo. You can use Vimo, or you can use Zelle. Zelle works good for us. There'll be a postal P.O. box address that you can use. Write that check in faith. Pay something on that pledge. Pay the tithe on the pledge. and watch God pay the rest. I really am serious about this. I'm doing this for a lot of reasons. Number one, I want you to have more fruit abound to your account. Number two, I want this ministry to have the respect and the blessing that it worked for and is entitled for, so that you can be partakers of the grace that God's given this ministry. We're not a no voice. Not a no voice. And I want you to get the blessings that belong to those who make pledges. What is that blessing? God protects you from evil spirits and evil people. You don't think there's evil people? Turn on the fake news. You don't think there's evil people? Do you hear what people are calling you? What are calling me? What they're saying about Trump? What they're saying about ICE? Are you seeing what they want in their cities? Do you see how they're breaking the law? Do you see how Biden and the administration, what they did, opened the border and let these criminals in? Now do you see that they're trying to keep them in? Why are they trying to keep them in? Because they don't want to lose their voters. Psalms 50, vow and pay. He'll deliver you in a time of trouble. Psalm 76, he'll protect you from evil spirits and evil people. I believe that you make a pledge to help us get the money we need for the mortgage, and then some to go forward. God's going to bless you beyond your wildest imagination. It's not an American gospel. Stop saying that. These scriptures and this Bible was written long before the United States of America was in existence. It's the gospel. It works where you work it. America is on the verge of so much protection and so much prosperity. It's our job to teach other nations these principles. God will build his church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail. But we need to take these principles and all my other teachings and into the othermost parts of the world. We're out of time. There'll be a phone number if you would rather call. A church phone number will be on the screen. But email me, Pastor John. I watched the video. I'm making a $1,000 pledge to be paid in 30 days, a $2,000 pledge to be paid in 60 days. And listen, don't limit yourself. We were having a building fund. We were on the way there, and I had $1,000 in the bank, and I was going to make I was going to give 1,000 that night, and another 1,000 a month for the next 5 months, 6,000. I'm sitting there. The minister was receiving the pledges. God said to me, not 6, 10. 10. I said, okay. That night, I made the $1,000 pledge. I made the $10,000 pledge. I paid the 1,000, and I made a $1,000 pledge to be paid in 10 months. I paid it in 3 months. You've been to our services in Orlando? The Cherokee Room at the Radisson Hotel? We were having a Sunday morning service, and I said, we're going to receive a pledge of $1,000 to be paid in 30 days. And some of you are going to pledge 10,000. God said to me, you're one of the 10,000. I stopped the service. I said, wait, I want to tell you what God just told me. God told me I am one of the 10. I'm excited. You know why? I don't have 10,000 right now. I made the 10,000 on a Sunday morning. Thursday, I got an unexpected blessing of 16,000 in the mail. I didn't give the 10. I gave the whole 16. It works if you work it. And nobody's going to rob my testimony. And don't let anybody rub your testimony. But if you don't do something and have action, make that pledge and give God, you might not have a testimony. You'll just keep listening to what God did for somebody else. There are seasons and moments in time that may never pass this way again. And hopefully the mortgage situation is one of them. Because God's going to tell somebody to pay off my house. Yep. If a preacher could have 6 houses debt-free and no mortgage, I could have one. If they could have big, fancy, expensive cars debt-free, I could have my GMC debt-free. No, I believe this. No. There's no way that we can sow the way we've been sowing and give the way we've been giving and not get blessed. Think about this ministry. This ministry started with less than $40 a week when I was sent out with blessings in 1988 to a troubling church in Sebring. The offerings were less than $40 a week. Think about the millions we spent since then on disaster victims, television, travel, etc. Where did it come from? Seed time and harvest. Works if you work it. One more testimony. Television station called me up one day. It was around the 15th of December. The station owner's wife said to me, Pastor Don, all accounts have to be settled before the end of the month. I said, okay, how much do we owe right now? They said $80,000. I went to church. I said, our television bill is $80,000. It has to be paid in 2 weeks. Somebody said, where is it going to come from? And I said, from wherever it is. There is no shortage of money. It's just in the wrong hands. Don't get sticky pockets. Only the seed you sow can grow. I need to hear from you today. The first thing we did is money for the attorneys to keep fighting for us. We need to have money coming in so that we can get this house out of foreclosure and keep it out of foreclosure. And God's going to touch somebody's heart to pay off my mortgage and my car. Remember where you heard it. Gerald Durstein used to introduce me, and he used to say, you heard it said you cannot outgive God. I'm here to tell you I learned you cannot outgive John DeLacio either. One more story. My daughter called me crying like a baby. Chrissy. She was hysterical. Crying and sobbing. I said, what happened? What happened? What happened? Nothing. I said, Chrissy, what happened? Nothing, Dad, nothing. I said, why are you crying? I said, you're scaring me. Why are you crying? Are the kids okay? Yes, everything's okay. Is your husband okay? Yes, everything's okay. Why are you crying? You're scaring me. She said, Dad, I just watched the video and it reminded me of you. You're always giving out. And it made me cry thinking about you. I said, what was the name of the movie? She said, Pay It Forward. Gotta go, but I need to hear from everybody today. No, don't just make a silent page. I need to know what you're pledging so that we know what we could have to work with. I speak the blessings of Yeshua and Jesus to come upon you. You will not hesitate. You will not miss this opportunity. The door is open. God gives seed to the sower. Yes, you can make a faith pledge. Yes, you can pay on what you can. And yes, you can expect God to protect you from evil spirits and evil people. If you don't want to tithe, don't tithe. But don't expect the blessing that belongs to the tither. If you don't want to give an offering above the tithe, don't give it. But don't expect the increase. If you don't want to make a pledge, don't do it. But if you want protection from evil spirits, evil people, I'd do all above if I were you. And that's what I do. I love you. Pay it forward.